Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tampa Bay, Florida for Game 3 of this second-round matchup between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres come into this game only losing one game so far here in the postseason. I'm just fixing my audio and visual settings here as we get this back underway. As the Tampa Bay Lightning in their alternate jerseys and the Buffalo Sabres get ready to take each other on here for game number 3 of round number 2. We are off and underway as this puck gets sent into the middle of the ice surface. Tage Thompson with a big hit from Cernakis, who will play it over. Byram is there, finds it over to Darlene. All my stuff is all messed up. People were playing on my stuff. Pause. People were playing hut on my Xbox. And it just wasn't great. There we go. Now it's played back into the middle. Braden Point is now on it for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Starting goaltenders of tonight's game, brought to you by the NHL YouTube channel. Find all of the highlights and more on this series and the others here in round number 2. The NHL YouTube channel. It's Luukkonen with the save there. The first shot on net brought to you by Tim Hortons. Always fresh, always Tim Hortons. And then at the other end, 200 feet from him, is Andrei Vasilevskiy. Face off to the left of Luukkonen early here in the first period. Tampa looking for their first win in this series. Nick Paul plays it over. Hedman kind of overskated the puck, feeds it back over to Paul, but it's broken up there by Zach Benson, and it's played in the middle here to Tuck. Nice move, finds ball, Byram down low to Tuck. Good stop there by Vasilevskiy. Tage Thompson was tripped up, as that will be touched up, and Nick Paul heads to the penalty box for the Lightning early here in the first period. Well, Tampa scored the first goal in both games, and it looks like a little bit of panic here for the Lightning. Vasilevskiy makes a couple of good game-saving stops there in this first period already. And now Buffalo to the power play. They've been figuring out their power play here in this second round. As Lilleberg has the puck, fires it down the ice, not all the way down, now it is. From Yanni Gourde. Power. Good hit there by Gergensons, Kicks it along the wall. Look out, Quinn, as he got steamrolled, but it's the Buffalo Sabres back the other way. Jason Zucker finds Doan with a shot, and lightly swatted away there by Vasilevskiy. Good hit down in the corner. That's fired off the foot of Kesselring, and Quinn turns it over to J.J. Moser as he almost has a chance on net. Loud building here in Tampa as the teams got onto the ice for warm-ups, and now they've kind of settled in a little bit. I believe it's mostly nerves here for the Lightning. They do not want to go down 3-0. Here's Gergensen now, stopping up a shot. Low glove save there by Luukkonen on the shorthanded chance for the Lightning. Tuck lined up there by Gergensen, but here comes the youngster Owen Power. Michigan product. There's a pass out in front. Stopped there by Vasilevskiy. Power tries to send it out in front. Broken up there by Lilleberg. Lilleberg back over to Cernak, who will fire this one down the ice for the Lightning. 19 seconds left of the Buffalo power play. James, feisty little guy, gets in on the forecheck. Now it's Alex Tuck. The veteran finds Thompson with a shot. Good glove save there by Vasilevskiy. Hedman sends one up over to James. Paul helps him out, feeds it over to Cirelli. 6 gone here in the first period. A shot stopped there by Luukkonen as he'll cover. 13:49 to go here in game number 3. Good work there by the Tampa Bay Lightning to kill that penalty off on home by Charlie. Lilleberg does great work down on the defensive zone. Really like the play of Dominic James on that that penalty kill. Buffalo not a lot of shots in the power play, but it's early in game number 3 and they figured it out before. Massive hit. Things change when you're on the road. In the playoffs, crowd can swing momentum as here comes McLeod, who's done a great job in this series. Couldn't get the shot off, and now Cirelli over the red line to find Nick Paul. Victim of penalty number 1. Paul, Cernak, Cirelli, Hedman, back over to Cernak. Great puck work here by the Lightning, and that's swatted away there by Luukkonen. McLeod feeds it over to Krebs. He got hit by Hedman, and Carrier gets hit by Cernak, and McLeod jumps on the loose puck. Look out, here comes Kucherov. As he was lining up McLeod, Cirelli will feed it back onto the stick here of Nikita Kucherov. Nice move, works his way in, pumps the brakes and holds. Kucherov waits, feeds it over to Cirelli. Finds it back over to Moser, couldn't get the pass away, and now here's Shane Doan. Doan works his way into a shooting angle. It's steered aside, Greenway on it. Chipped away from the stick of him. We're under 10 to go here in the first period. Shots are 8-4 in favor of the Lightning. Moser gets in behind the D, pumps the brakes, a pass to Kucherov, and a stop there by Luukkonen as he will hold on. 0-0 through 1 period of play. You're watching the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs here on Flow Hockey and YouTube.
Why is everyone so fired up? It's a Stanley Cup playoffs. Most exciting playoffs out there. A 2-month roller coaster filled with sudden deaths, good old-fashioned chaos, and a beauty we call McJesus. There's action on the ice and in the studio. Every series is a statement, and everyone, it's their shot at the cup.
Why is everyone so fired up?
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs, the most exciting playoffs out there. A 2-month roller coaster with sudden deaths, and a beauty.
Well, we're back here in Tampa Bay. We are scoreless through 1 as of now. 8 minutes to go in the first period. Braden Point wins a draw. Tampa trying to change things. And a good stop there by Luukkonen.
I really like the way Tampa started here on home ice. This building is definitely loud. This building is definitely very loud. And it's gonna swing things in Tampa's way that they wanted to go, but Buffalo's a very good team home and away.
That puck was shot in on Vasilevsky. Had to make a good stop. Big hit there by Moser. Because this series in Game 3, just like Game 1 for Series number 1 for Buffalo, got a little bit more aggressive as the series got deeper. Games 1 and 2 didn't really have a lot of physical miss in the first period, and then Games 3 to 6 really did. Here's James now works his way in. A shot stopped there by Luukkonen. Games 3 to 5 did. As Luukkonen with another stop. 5:47 to go here in the first period. Face-off won there by Buffalo. Kesselring is on it. He's got Dominic James on him. Big hit there by the youngster and Dominic James. Gongalves has been good all postseason. A backhand shot saved there as Gongalves took a dump right over Luukkonen. Almost got his own rebound.
Well, he was midair.
Here's Thompson. Thompson scores! Buffalo continues the trend and scores the first goal of the game yet again here in Game 3.
Well, a great goal by... Well, a great goal here by the Buffalo Sabres, but it's Tampa with a remarkable chance for Gage Gongalves. He just can't bury it. And then back the other way. A poor defensive coverage for the Lightning gives Tage Thompson some space. He feeds a nice little dish over to Alex Tuch. And he buries one home past Vasilevsky, and again, Tampa trails by 1.
Here they come again. Another shot saved there by Vasilevsky. Hedman will swat it over to Cernak, and now here comes Corey Perry for the Lightning. The vet pulls up, waits, fires a backhand, it hit a stick. Quinn now on it. Feeds it over to Darlene, who's got some room. A pass across, saved there by Vasilevsky. Tampa coming in waves here at the end of the first period. 2:20 to go. We have our opening goal here of game number 3, and it goes to the Buffalo Sabres. This puck slides in on Luukkonen. Perry was right there, so he'll have to cover it and get a whistle.
Tage Thompson hasn't been on the score sheet a ton here in the postseason, but he's been very good with the puck, assist-wise. He's been very good for the Buffalo Sabres.
Here's Hedman with a blast, and that just missed the top corner of the net. Byram now, also having a great postseason. Feeds it over. Thompson gets hit there, or sorry, that was McLeod who got hit by Cernak, and now Bjorkstrand will stop up. Him and Paul have been very good, and now a knock-away play there by the captain, Dahlin. He works his way in on a little backhand. Blockered away there by Vasilevsky. 8 seconds to go. Bjorkstrand tries to hold, feeds over to Nick Paul. 2 seconds, fires a wrist shot. Glove saved by Luukkonen, and that will expire the first period. The Buffalo Sabres have done it again as they get the opening goal of game number 3 and have the lead going into period number 2.
Mr. The NHL, Gary Bettman. What is it? I'm not going to do this.
I tried, Gary. I tried. All I hear is booze.
It's great to have you here.
Great to be. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year as well. I know Anthony had a question to lead us off.
Yeah, I do. So we know that NHL Unites does a tremendous job, like spreading the game and contributing to the growth of hockey. I want you to talk about the growth of hockey here in Florida leading up to this outdoor game.
Well, as a general matter, when we put franchises in new markets, USA Hockey says the registration at all levels of the game, grassroots, explodes. And what you have here, most of our franchises, teams investing in the community, making a difference in the quality of the life of the community. And no better example than here in South Florida with the Viola family. What Vinny Viola has invested in the team and in the community. Just go to the practice facility and what they've done to the War Memorial in Fort Lauderdale. It's simply incredible. And the results speak for themselves. They have a great fan base down here in South Florida. Selling out this building was not an issue at all. We could have probably sold it out if it was twice as big.
Biz, I know you're going to start.
He's thinking. He's got that look on his face.
Steam's going to come out of your ears.
I was going to ask it later because it was more of a serious one. Do you feel like the IIHF is treating its owners of the NHL and its players fairly enough with the situation with the rink going on overseas?
You know, at the International Olympic Committee and the International Ice Hockey Federation are responsible for what's going to go on at the Olympics. It makes me... Not that I'm a control freak, but turning our game and our players over to a third party, you know, let's just say I would have been happier if they were testing the ice and finishing the rink a year ago or 6 months ago, not doing it now with 35 days to go to the start of the Olympics. But listen, there are issues that you always have to deal with going to the Olympics, not the least of which is the break in the season and our compressed schedule and everything that goes along with it as a distraction. But we do it first and foremost because it's important to our players. Our players love representing their countries, and that's what it's all about. And it'll be fun for the fans. Just think 4 nations on steroids.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we love being here. We can all feel our fingertips and toes. Do you want to tell us where we're going to be next year? Because we're very comfortable.
Yeah.
We're very comfortable.
I have to make a road trip next week, but I'm not telling you. We're not breaking news tonight. We're just here to have a good time.
So not that.
Throwback to the Winter Classic where Gary Betts was on the panel there with the TNT boys. Period number 2 underway here in Tampa as they trail 1-0 to the Buffalo Sabres as Braden Point tries to work his way in. Turned over, Hagel shoots, save, rebound, Kucherov was robbed there by Luukkonen.
Hagel back up with Kucherov and Point here tonight, not to mention due to the fact of the injury for Jake Gensel back in game number 2.
Here's Kucherov now with another shot saved there by Luukkonen through some traffic. And Tuck with the puck out here for Buffalo. Works his way in and a shot stopped there by Vasilevsky. Had to make 2 with a nice one on the rebound. Back and forth we go here in period number 2 to open up the game. Big hit down low. Points got it. Feeds it up over to Hagel. He may have a step. He does. Brendan Hagel pushed from behind. Great back check there from Bowen Byram.
Really good work there from Byram not to take a cross-checking penalty, but to get behind Kucherov and make a great play.
That'll be a stoppage in play down at the Tampa zone. As Ryan McDonough, with a massive hit in the corner.
What a great save by Luukkonen on Kucherov early in this second.
Great block there by Nick Paul, and now here comes Cirelli now in. Drives to the net, scores! Anthony Cirelli has got the Lightning on the board here in period number 2.
Well, you could tell it was coming from Tampa Bay. Great work down low from Cirelli to drag this out in front. Great work there by, I believe it's Gergensen out in front, or it's Nick Paul. This is Bjorkstrand, one of them, out in front, drags both of the Kesselring and Doan to him out in front, and leaves Cirelli with a nice little drive to the net. Great work there by the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they have it all squared up at 1.
Well, with the first shift from the Kucherov line, I thought they were ready to go here in the second, and now they've got the puck back down low here. Samoa, but they score again! Nick Paul's first of the postseason, and the Lightning now have a 2-1 lead. I think this building might blow up, Colin. The fans are going crazy here in Tampa Bay. They didn't even get a chance to sit down after the first goal. Great work by the Cirelli line. They win the face-off. They dump it deep. Good puck retrieval by Cirelli. Pops it out front, and then Josh Doan doesn't pick up Nick Paul. And that Nick Paul line, the second line for the Tampa Bay Lightning, have done it twice here in the second period. 30 seconds apart, 2-1 Tampa Bay. Well, here comes the Gergensen line in. And now Gergensen plays up top to Moser, and another stop by Luukkonen, who will hold on, and everyone can take a breather as the Tampa Bay Lightning score back-to-back goals, 30 seconds apart to have a 2-1 lead.
They started on time in the second period. Coop's got them buzzing. Let's see if they can hold it here for the next 13 minutes.
Big hit to keep the puck in there, and McDonough is going to have to drop him with Josh Doan. He might not like his shift here after all.
He did pick up defensive zone coverage twice. This could be frustration. Taking it out on McDonough.
Is McDonough trying to grab Doan? Doan won't let him, so McDonough's throwing haymakers at Doan. They both start throwing bombs. Look at McDonough with the right hand on Josh Doan. And you want to talk about fired up crowd, 2 goals and a fight, all within the last 3 minutes.
What a turn, what a scene here in Tampa Bay. Listen to this crowd.
They are going crazy here in Tampa Bay as Yanni Gourde lines up against McLeod for the faceoff. McLeod's going to win it. As now turned over there by Perry. He works his way in. Corey Perry scores! Holy Mackinacs, 3-1 Tampa Bay! Oh my goodness, 2 goals, a fight, and then the worm, Corey Perry, strips the Buffalo Sabres of the puck. Little forehand, backhand, outweights Luukkonen, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I've got a 2-goal lead for the first time in this series. Lindy Ruff and the Buffalo Sabres not liking this second period start as he's taking a timeout. Buffalo now gets their third line out on the ice after a timeout was called after the goal from Lindy Ruff. This crowd is into it now here in Tampa Bay. So Corey Perry gets a goal here in the second, and here comes their line again. Yanni Gore tries to slip it down. Lilleberg jumped into the rush. McLeod now, one-on-one with Perry. Turned aside there, Gergensen to J.J. Moser, who will slide this puck in for the Lightning. They're changing, so Moser will go in. Hagel's line gets back out on the ice. Carrick to McLeod, who's in all alone! Stopped there by Vasilevsky. Penalty coming to the Lightning. Krabs will let the Lightning touch it up. So after a tremendous 5 minutes inside the Buffalo Sabres zone, John Cooper's team will be back to the penalty kill here. As they fall asleep for just a minute, Nikita Kucherov takes a tripping penalty on the breakaway to McLeod. As, I mean, if I'm Cooper, I don't know. I think I have the right to be upset about that.
Yeah, there's no way that's a penalty. He doesn't really touch him. McLeod more trips on the fact that he gets too tight into Vasilevsky. If you want to give a trip to anyone, give it to Andre Vasilevsky.
A shot right off the draw from the power play here, the Buffalo Sabres. This is the second power play of the game and second one for Buffalo. As Byram plays it over to Zucker, who finds Danforth. Big hit on him. Dominic James got the puck, finds it to Cirelli, who will dump it in. Hedman goes in on Byram, almost a turnover to Cirelli.
The Lightning are doing a very good job not giving Buffalo any time on the penalty kill.
James works his way in. A shot high off the mask of Luukkonen. Now slides in front. And a good chance there for James. Cirelli now holds. Fires a wrist shot. Saved there by Luukkonen. 3 shots on the power play for the Lightning, who are on the penalty kill. 1 for Buffalo. Benson down low to Dahlin. They get the setup. He's in with a shot. Stepped there by Vasilevsky. Under 10 to go in the period. 42 left on the power play for Buffalo. 3-1. The Tampa Bay Lightning lead, scoring 3 unanswered goals in 3 minutes. Big hit there on Benson. Dahlin works it over to Tuck. Poked away there by Lilleberg. Good work there by Thompson. Great play there by Kosher, but out in front it's Tuck. Broke it up there by the Lightning, and they'll send it down the ice. Thompson to Tuck. Turned over. Gergensen will play it up over to Gore. As he will make a smart decision. Pass it off. Here's Kucherov in. Stopped by Luukkonen. Good work there by Yanni Gord. Smart play out of the penalty box. Here come the Buffalo Sabres back the other way. Turned aside, and now Braden Point on it. Couldn't get a pass off as it's played back to Tuck, who will hold it, send it inside. Hagel can't get it off the wall. Here's Thompson. Broken up by Cernak, and now Hagel. Quickly over to along the line to Hedman, who will send it in.
Really like the way Tampa's penalty killing. Good work.
Here's a shot, kicked away there by Vasilevsky, and you will hold on and get the whistle for the Lightning. 3-1. Tampa Bay leads it as Victor Hedman and his Bolts are in control here in the second. You're watching the Stanley Cup Simulation Playoffs on Flow Hockey and YouTube.
All it does is take. And sooner or later, it takes you over. It takes every breath. It takes your body. One night, it'll take your dream. The next night, it will take someone else's. It takes. And just when you have nothing left, it gives.
.5:42 to go. Buffalo down by 2, a shot blocked. Power play has gone blank twice for the Sabres. Here's Perry now in. He's the most recent goal scorer for this Tampa Bay Lightning offense that has exploded here in period number 2. Here's a pass, Connor Carrick, stopped there by Vasilevsky. Back out in front, and another shot by McLeod was tiered aside by a body. Now here comes Corey Perry for the Lightning. Fans into it. Perry holds offside, Tampa Bay.
Buffalo just finding their groove here in the second. a little bit better here in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Really good work so far by the Lightning to hold control here in the second.
Under 4 to go here in the second period. Lightning have their first 2-goal advantage of the series. And Crozer will play it up over to Nick Paul, who's got some room. Along the left side, half wall. Paul in the middle. Cirelli holds, shoots, rebound! Good save there by Luukkonen. Almost another chance for Nick Paul on the rebound. Doan to Quinn, back to Doan, stopped by Vasilevsky. Sending to the corner, Doan out in front, Quinn back door to McLeod, and he was stopped by Vasilevsky as well.
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, a couple of big stops here in the second period. This one really, really big for his team, as that would have put them down by 3. Good timely save there by Luukkonen.
Face-off won by Buffalo. Here's Mallinston with a shot save. Rebound and a great save by Vasilevsky. Cernak will ship it over to the far side. Hagel will dump it in. We're down to the final minute of play here in the second. Greenway sends it up over to Danforth. He makes a move to the inside. Look how big hit by Hedman. Cernak turns it over. One final shot from Greenway. Turned aside by Vasilevsky, and that will do it through 40 minutes of play. It was 1-0 Buffalo after 1, and now it is 3-1 Tampa Bay.
Steve, thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it. I want to ask you just a big picture question about this Red Wings team. You look around the sports landscape in the city of Detroit. You have the Lions and the Tigers, both of those teams considered contenders. You have a Pistons team that made a big jump last year, made the playoffs. It has been a while for you guys. How crucial is it this year for your team to take that next step?
Well, we're trying to improve every season. I think it's important that we crucial, however you want to phrase it, but to continue to improve. We start the season with a few more younger faces in the lineup, and we'll continue to stick with that. And when our young guys are ready to step in, not only the guys we got this year, but in the future, we'll keep adding to them. So, but obviously we would love to, and it's important to take a step every year, especially this one.
Stevie, it's Biz here. First of all, your tan looks impeccable right now. Not exactly sure what your skincare routine is, but whatever you're doing, it's working. My first question is about Todd McLellan.
Soap and water.
What is it?
Soap and water.
Oh, very simple.
Biz doesn't use soap.
Very, very simple. I was going to ask you about Todd McLellan after Game 1 and what your thoughts were about his comments post-game.
I didn't even read them, actually, so I know if you had watched the game, we played very poorly, very sloppy. And the one thing about Todd, he's direct and he speaks his mind. He doesn't hold back. He lets everybody know where they stand. So, we just said after that, we expect more from our team.
Steve, Hank here. As a Swede, it warms my heart to see so many Swedes on your team. Is that a coincidence, or you've had a rich history of great Swedes in the organization? Is that a factor here?
Yeah. Well, Henrik, yes, we've had a great history here in Detroit with with Swedish players, Russian players as well. It really hasn't been by design, I would say. I think we give our scouts, Håkan Andersson, Thomas Karlsson in Sweden, a lot of say because they've found players in the past. So when they like someone, we take note of it. But again, it's funny, when I was working in Tampa, I would always say, God, we never draft any Swedes. Now here we are, we draft a lot of Swedes, and it just seems that's where they've been on our list, whether it be first round, second round, or whatnot. We found a lot of players. We've had good success, and as you know, I don't know what it is about Swedish players. They're extremely professional, good people, good teammates. So we will continue to draft them.
Boys talking to Stevie Y in that intermission report. Thank you, gentlemen. Here we go. Third period, game number 3 of this second round matchup between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Buffalo Sabres. We're underway. Tage Thompson's got it, and Buffalo is going to start by sliding the puck into the Tampa Bay zone. And now Kucherov will have it for Tampa with a lead feed pass, and Byram will touch it just outside the blue line.
Vasilevsky has been a key member of this team for years and years, but this is what he brings year after year in the postseason. It's save after save after save. Nothing new for Andrei Vasilevsky. He did say after game 2 that he needs to be better, and he wanted the reset. Couple days off, gets a reset, starts making saves like that one.
Alex Tuch, 3 goals in the postseason. 4 assists with a 7-point total. Those stats that you saw on the ice surface there, brought to you by NHL IQ, as Bowen Byram, pressured by Brendan Hagel, sends it over to Zach Benson. Back over to Byram, finds Thompson, who works his way in, got hit, pass over to Benson to Tuch. Good save there by Vasilevsky. Chip back into the Tampa Bay corner. Buffalo starting to put more pressure on the Tampa Bay defense as they did in period number 1. Turned over Kucherov, trying to get it through the middle. He got roughed up, and now Hagel feeds it over to Hedman. Lead feed pass to Cernak. Finds Point off the bench. Cuts in, holds, waits for reinforcements. He gets them. Point back to Paul. Fires a shot. Broken stick. Here's a shot there by Point, and a glove save there by Luukkonen. Benson now. Paul with a new twig. Gets back on the ice and rails Zach Benson. Bjorkstrand tries to feed it over to Nick Paul, and the Tampa Bay Lightning will go give pressure as it slid all the way back down into the Buffalo end.
Tampa looks way more physical in game 3 here than 1 and 2 combined.
Paul feeds over Swilly with a backhand, doesn't get through. Now a battle pursues in front of the net. It's broken up there by the Sabres. Tuch works his way in. Nice shot. Stopped there by Vasilevsky. McDonough up to Cirelli. Feeds it over to Bjorkstrand. Tries to split the D, and he couldn't. And now it's played back out into the middle of the ice surface. Carrick back over to Power, who jumped into the rush. Gergensen to Perry, and he'll slide that one in deep.
So funny to see Corey Perry on this ice. A lot of holding the puck, a lot of zone entries for either team. And then Perry gets on the ice. It's a little dump in, a little soft dump. Veteran move.
There he is again. This time he'll carry it in as it got knocked off of his stick. Maybe that's why he dumps it in all the time, Bob. As now a big hit along the wall. 2 big ones as McLeod suffers a shoulder into the chest. Gergensen rips one around the net. Lilleberg is there. Feeds up over to Perry as he waits for Gergensen to jump up the rush with him. Gergensen trying to hold. Waits. Good play out in front. Couldn't find Perry. Danforth in the middle to Dahlin. He will feed one up over to Quinn. Poked away there by Crozier. And McLeod also poked away by Crozier. Good defensive play for him. Lilleberg goes into the corner on Quinn. Under 10 to go here in the third period. Back and forth we battle. Shots are 29-24 in favor of the Sabres. And Dominic James feeds it over to Gongalves. Button hooks, slides one down into the end wall. Holmberg tries to get first on it for the Lightning. He can't. Kesselring is there, dumped by Holmberg. And Gongalves will slide it back down into the Buffalo zone. Big boys hopping back on out here for Tampa. Big boys also hopping back out for Buffalo as they go head to head. Point, nice move, plays it down low, drives to the net, and a good stop there by Luukkonen with 6:13 to go. Heading down to the wire here in game 3 as Tampa Bay tries to try to get back within 1 on this series. It's 3-1 Tampa. Connor Carrick doesn't like it, so he'll show you his physicality here in period number 3. You're watching the simulation of the Stanley Cup playoffs here on Flow Hockey and YouTube.
Why is everyone so fired up? It's a Stanley Cup playoffs. Most exciting playoffs out there. A 2-month roller coaster filled with sudden deaths, good old-fashioned chaos, and a beauty we call the Jesus. There's action on the ice and in the studio. Every series is a statement. And everyone, it's their shot that counts.
Why is everyone so fired up?
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs. The most exciting playoffs out there. A 2-month roller coaster with sudden deaths. And a beautiful...
Back here in Tampa Bay. As now the Buffalo Sabres are trying to tie this hockey game back up to go 3-up in the series. Here's Victor Hedman now. Works in with a shot and a good save by Luukkonen as Hedman and Stanley, the two big boys on the ice, have some words after that great save by Luukkonen. 5:26 to go here in the third period. Tampa leads it 3-1. Point with a face-off win. Hedman back to point. He will hold the line. Feeds over to Cernak. Puck just got all away from him. And he will hold it and turn. Plays it back over to Kucherov. Lost it. And now Point is on the puck. He will work his way in. Tries to drive the net as Hagel was backdoor. Kucherov kept the puck alive. Kucherov, here's a shot from McDonough, stopped by Luukkonen as he will hold on. And Braden Point and Stanley have some words as well. Face-off won by Thompson. Benson turns it over. Cirelli couldn't pull the trigger as Thompson was there. 3 minutes to go. Luukkonen can head to the bench any second. Buffalo remains to keep him in the net, and now Tampa's got possession. Here's Paul, hit by Tuck. Bjorkstrand hits Tuck. Backdoor play. Moser gets it up to the point. Dahlin down low. Tuck shoots. Good save there by Vasilevsky. Under a minute 50 to go here in the game. Cirelli holds. Feeds it across. Paul can't get there. Benson does. Tuck turned over by McDonough. They can't get Luukkonen out. Down to a minute to go. Luukkonen remains in the Buffalo net because they can't get it out of their zone.
Really good work by Tampa Bay. This is more the Tampa team that we saw in the first round.
Benson now to Dahlin. There goes Luukkonen. 40 seconds, a shot. Stop there, bobbling puck. Vasilevsky gets it. McDonough has control. Cernak to Hagel. Holds, feeds it over to Kucherov. He's in to the empty net. Can Kucherov get it? He's got Dahlin on him and he scores! Nikita Kucherov has made it a 4-1 game for the Lightning. That's his third of the postseason. And the Tampa Bay Lightning will take game number 3 here on home ice.
Massive goal there for Nikita Kucherov. It's actually his second goal of the postseason.
My bad.
But a great work there by the Lightning all around defensively. Great job by Tampa Bay.
They were the better team after the first period. We'll give the first period to Buffalo. Here's Krebs off the post. Another chance for him. Plays it up top. Save. Rebound. They score.
Peyton Krebs, first of the postseason. They pull Luukkonen, and they get it back within 2 goals here for Buffalo. Yeah, there's no quit attitude by Buffalo, but there's only 7 seconds left of this third period. Fans don't even care. They're still cheering. Good work by Buffalo to get the goaltender out again. The shot by Krebs off the post has Vasilevsky scrambling, so now 4-2 is the score for Tampa Bay.
33 shots for Buffalo, but a 4-2 lead for Tampa with 8 seconds to go. And it looks like home ice will be a factor in this series. As Luukkonen back to the bench, but it doesn't matter. The Tampa Bay Lightning have won and taken game number 3 here on home ice, where they will cut the series down to 2-1 in favor of Buffalo. One more game here in Tampa Bay for Game 4 Can the Lightning tie the series? That's what they'll be trying to do when we see you back here on Friday night. It's the Lightning, it's Buffalo, and it's a great series here in round number 2. Vasilevsky and the Lightning stay alive for a couple more games as the series is now 2-1 for the Sabres. But it's the Lightning with a 4-2 victory and a domination of the second half of this game here tonight. From myself, from Bob Sutherland, and everyone else here at the EA Studio production, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time here in Tampa Bay.